Hello, hello. Welcome to Pure Light Awakening. I am Nina, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the tugging war between the 3D and the 5D or 4D. I was kind of guided to talk a little bit about okay, so how do we maneuver this lifetime and how do we maneuver this awakening process when we feel like we are being pulled back into the so called 3D world all the time? And I know it can be really a struggle. Okay, I've experienced this myself, and of course, I experience it on a daily basis myself. So, how do we maneuver it, and how do we um, kind of keep ourselves from being dragged too much into it and allowing ego to kind of take over the driver's seat? And how do we kind of maneuver whatever comes up in that sense? And the only thing I can say is that, and this is going to sound a little bit strange, but there's nothing wrong with any of it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you being tugged into the 3D world. There's nothing wrong with ego actually taking over, as long as you then remember that there's something inside of you that kind of reminds you that, wait a minute, this is not who I am. You know, this is not the one that I want to be in the driver's seat. Yes, I let myself be pulled off the tracks a little bit here, but why am I going down this road? So there's something within you that kind of reminds you that this is not who I am. Okay, this isn't it. So, but there's nothing wrong with it happening because it happens to all of us and it happens every day. We are living in a 3D world. We are living in a physical being which is three-dimensional. And so it's only natural for us to be dragged into it. And I mean, it can be work, it can be kids, it can be parents, it can be school, it can be, you know, that you get disturbed all the time by your phone, by your computer, by all these things, by news, you know. And it drags us out of the knowing of who we truly are. And it's a natural process. It's part of being human. So there's nothing wrong with it. But if you have chosen to be in an awakening state, you have chosen to awaken or do the ascension process within this lifetime, then there should be something inside of you reminding you of that fact of who you truly are and why you're here. And not being angry with the ego, not blaming the ego in any way, but just saying to the ego, okay, I see what you did there. And that's okay, but I'm going to take it from here, you know? Um, so allow yourself to be dragged into the 3D world. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just allow it to happen and just acknowledge that this is part of the human experience. This is part of the journey, being kind of in that tug of war, if you will, where you feel like one part of you really wants to be in the 5D all the time because it's so blissful and it's so beautiful. But of course, you get dragged into the 3D world all the time. And that's kind of what it's like to be in 4D, because when we're in 4D, we're kind of in both worlds at the same time. We're kind of balancing both of them, right? And for some of you, you have decided that that's what you're going to achieve and that's where you're going to be. And you're going to live kind of the excitement of being the human and being the higher self at the same time. For others, might have chosen to go further into the 5D, further into the higher self, and live only from that perspective. And some people on the planet have chosen to live only from the 3D perspective and allowing themselves to believe that that's all they are. And equally, all of them are beautiful. It all depends on what you have decided or what you are choosing as a higher self right now. So allow the tug to happen, allow that kind of war to happen, but see if you can get into the observer seat when it's happening, and just see, oh, I see what happened there. Okay, ego, I see what you did there, you know. And then you kind of come back to the observer, who is the higher self, and say, ah, so that was that experience. That's what that felt like. Interesting, you know. And allow it to be just what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. But of course, if it happens a lot, and if you are constantly dragged into the 3D, and you have planned to kind of live in the 4D or the 5D in this lifetime, then there are, of course, some things that you can do to remind yourself a little bit. You can put up post-it notes on your mirror. You just say, remember who you are. You can have a reminder on your phone saying, remember who you are, or take 5 minutes, or take 5, or do a short meditation, or go outside, ground yourself, those kind of messages to yourself. It can help you in your everyday life to remind yourself to get into the observer, into the higher self, and to observe it from that perspective. And then that will help you maneuver whatever it is that you're bumping up against during your day. All the different energies you're bumping up against, whether it be at school, at work, with your family, with your friends, whomever. So it's just a way of helping yourself to remind yourself of who you truly are and why you came. Okay? But it's all a choice, and it is your choice, and nobody else can tell you if your choice is better than or worse than, because it isn't. Okay? This is your journey, and you get to choose how to live your journey. But if you want to choose to live your journey more in the 4D or 5D, a trick could be the post-it notes, or a reminder on the phone. Or a trick could be to look to people who are understanding what you are understanding. Be part of that group that understands those things, whether it be development group, a yoga group, meditation group, those kind of people. So if you want to be more in the 4D and the 5D, maybe you should surround yourself with people of that nature, more than people who are constantly living in the 3D. But that's your choice, right? All up to what you have chosen to do in this lifetime. But that was just a little reminder of, how to maneuver that little tug of war that happens when, on a daily basis, I think, for everybody. I know it happens for me as well. So when I have kids, and I have a dog, and I have a cat, and I have a my man and everything, and my parents need me, and my sister need me, and it's all these things happening all the time. Me personally, I have chosen not to read that many news, and I try to shut off my computer and my TV and my phone and all that. But it isn't always that easy, and sometimes I get totally dragged into it as well, and go Netflix binging and all that. So but it is kind of the balance and the fun and the joy of this journey for me. I think it's very interesting, and I find it fun and interesting. So that's just me. But anyway, so that was just a couple of pointers on how to maneuver that kind of tug of war. Feel free to comment how you are experiencing that in the comment section below. Let's help each other on this channel move forward. I wish you the very best with whatever you're doing. Until the next time I see you.